Hi guys, I'm Shelley and welcome to the A to Z book tag. I was actually tagged by Mia from Idleness Against Mischief back in July 2014, so I thought it was about time that I did it. This tag was originally thought up by Perpetual Pages, who has a blog, and I think she did it in video as well, but I will link all the links down below, so go and check them out. There are 26 questions relating to the alphabet. Let's start with A. Author you've read the most books of. It has to be Cassandra Clare, because if you add up the Mortal Instruments series, the Infernal Devices series, and the Bane Chronicles, and whatever else that I will probably go on to read. How many altogether? B. Best sequel ever. I've said it once, I'll say it again, no surprise here. I'm going to say Emma's Moon from the Snow Spider trilogy by Jenny Nimmo. This is the second in a trilogy. This is a middle grade primary school book about a young boy who finds out that he is, well, he's not a wizard, he's a magician. And I say it in that accent, which is very bad because it's set in Wales. C. Book you are currently reading, and that is Sister Everlasting, which is the 5th in the Sisterhood of the Travelling Pants series. I'm only about 20 pages in and I'm already feeling nervous. D. Drink of choice while reading. Well, if I had my own choice, it would be coffee. But at the moment it's water or ginger tea. E. E-reader or physical book. Physical book. E-readers are great, but what if you drop them? They break. What if you drop them in water? They drown. If you drop a book in water, it's a bit wet, you stick it on the side, it dries, you can still read it. If you drop a book, it doesn't break. I'm an extremely clumsy klutz of a person who has very bad grip. And so e-readers are an extremely bad idea because I will break them. F. Fictional character you most likely have dated in high school. I didn't go to high school, but I was into geeks, so I'm gonna go with Cass from Fangirl, or Levi from Fangirl, or Simon Cotton from I Capture the Castle. He is the older, kind of dutiful brother. I feel this kind of thing with him that I could quite easily have slid into a relationship with him. G. Glad you gave this book a chance. Jane Eyre. I'd watched one of the adaptations, the BBC one, but there was something about the book that just put me off. I just thought, oh my god, this is going to be so heavy. It's Bronte, it's going to be like a Dickens, it's going to be heavy and ugh. And then my mum read it and she was telling me about it and I was just like, I want to know these things. So I got it and I read it and oh my god, I'm so glad I did, because all these little bits, just the tiny little bits that were left out of the series were just flipped my head and made me look at the book a whole different way, and yeah, I'm really glad I read it in the end. H. Hidden gem of a book. For this I have picked the graphic novel Skim by Mariko and Gillian Tamaraki. I was recently recommended this by Sylvia over at Wish Fulfillment. She did a review of it, which I will link below. It is a graphic novel about a teenage girl. It's so realistic to what it's like to be inside a teenage head. It sort of reminds me of the TV series My So-Called Life. She just sits there and fusses in her brain, and she doesn't go out and rebel because she's a teenager, and not all teenagers do that. Most of us just sit in our rooms and go slightly stir crazy and grab hold of something, anything, and obsess about that because it's better than dealing with the fact that we're growing up and we're having to deal with all these hormones. I've never heard of it before, and I never would have heard of it if it wasn't for Sylvia, and I am so glad I came across it. So go pick up Skim, it's brilliant. I. Important moment in your reading life. I think it's going to have to be The Hunger Games, which is here. I mean, I was getting through about 10 books a year before that, and then The Hunger Games came along, and suddenly I'm getting through 30, 40, 50 books a year, and we're now, last year it was 100. It reminded me how much I love reading and sucked me back in, and so now I have books everywhere. J. The book you just finished, and that is the 4th in the Sisterhood of the Travelling Pants series, which is Forever in Blue, and then also at the same time I was reading Shock of the Fall by Nathan Filer. K. Kind of books you won't read. Horror. The News. It has enough horror in it and I cannot cope with any more in my life. L. Longest book you've ever read. I of course went to the mecca that is Goodreads to find this out, and it turns out it is Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix at 807 pages long. M. Major book hangover. Blue is the warmest colour by Julie Moore. The artwork alone is just, you see blue everywhere now. I swear to god, your brain just completely gets flipped. It's the story of two women falling in love. The movie has made it this big salacious thing, but The actual novel, the graphic novel, is just, it's mind-blowingly, heartbreakingly beautiful. N, number of bookcases you own. 1, 2. But there are piles of books everywhere. I have no other room. There's no room in this flat to put another bookcase. Oh, one book you have read many, many times. The Host by Stephanie Meyer. I know it has the whole kind of Stephanie Meyer Twilight stigma to it, but read The Host. Every time I read it, I get something else out of it. It's a look at humanity and how we deal with adversity. P, preferred place to read. Bed, sofa, anywhere really, really comfy where I'm fully supported. Q, quote that inspires you the most. I wrote this down, so excuse me, I'm going to have to read it. It's true. Lives do drift apart for no obvious reason. We're all busy people. We can't spend our time simply trying to stay in touch. The test of a friendship is if it can weather the inevitable gaps. William Boyd, Any Human Heart. R, reading regret. I don't really regret books because even if I didn't like them, I learned something from them. S, a series you have to finish. The Luck series by Jennifer Armentrout. I have one left to go, which is... Number 4, Origin. I have number 4 left to go. T, 3 of your all-time favourite books. It's Sophie's Choice. I mean, it's not, that's a bit dramatic. But it kind of is for me. These are my babies. The first in the Hunger Games series. The Vagina Monologues changed my life. Maybe Magnus Power Mouse from Dick King Smith, because that just makes me crack and makes me smile and it reminds me of my childhood completely. U, Unapologetic fangirl. I'm not apologetic for any fangirl. Yeah, there's nothing I'm apologetic for. I love all the things I love. V, very excited for the next release. Winter by Marissa Mayer, which is it the last in the series of the fairy tale retellings? W, worst bookish habit. I am the most fickle reader I can think of. I'll start a book, I'll get into it a couple of chapters, and then I'll put it down for 5 minutes and change my mind and want to go to read something else. And my TBR shelf is kind of testament to that, because I'm about 3 or 4 chapters into all of these books because I cannot make up my mind. And also for asking the library for a book I'm really, really excited about, and then by the time it comes in I've completely changed my mind and I don't give a damn about that book anymore and I'm on to the next. X marks the spot. Find the 27th book on your bookshelf. Okay, we have to do some counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 25, 26. Is there another book there? 27. It is A Love Less Ordinary by Lauren Newman, and it's sharing life, laughter and handbags with a transgender partner. It was very, very good and very enlightening, so I really need to review this. Y, your latest book purchase. It's the old and the new version of The Joy of Sex. The original book is very gender biased towards male. In fact, in the contents it doesn't talk about the clitoris at all, it's just not mentioned. The updated version of it, obviously, it was more based towards women's sexual pleasure as well, and so I wanted to kind of compare the two, and I was thinking about doing a discussion video on it, because even the second one has major problems as well, and it could really do with updating again. If you haven't fallen asleep from my rambling yet, we have managed to make it to Z, which is the last book that kept you awake. And this is The Extra by Catherine Larsky. I was sent this by Walker to do an honest review. I couldn't put it down and it kept me awake at night. It is about Lilo. She is a gypsy growing up in Germany, and it's the wartime, and of course Hitler didn't just go for the Jews, he went for every single minority, and so she is captured and taken, and so is her family. But there is a very, very famous director who is going to be making a movie about gypsies, and so she's cast as an extra along with a bunch of other gypsies. They're kept like cattle. And this book explores the acting upon acting upon acting to stay alive. You have to act in the movie, you have to act like you want to be in the movie, and you're happy to be there to stay alive. It's almost historically accurate because this movie that they're making was real. It was actually made. And that's it. All 26 questions A to Z. I'm not sure who to tag in this because this tag has been going around for so long, but I will try and find some people who haven't done it and I will link you guys down below. I hope you guys are good. Thank you, Mia, for tagging me, and I will see you guys soon. Bye.